Watch what's approaching, the supreme moment. Reality striking closer than it seems, don't it? Go ahead, it's for the taking if you want it. If not, the dream dies and you'll be forever haunted. Then confront it.
Hey, what's going on? So I actually did end up finishing the max level link grind for another unit. This time it'll be the physical type Vegito Blue. Of course, with the EZA, this guy is amongst the best, honestly. And with the level 10 link skills, I was actually looking forward to how much of an improvement this unit would bring with those extra percentages toward, attack and defense and key or whatever the case is. So as you saw, level 10 links, the potential levels that I have set up is 11 for additional attack and 20 for crits. Ideally, I'd like to go a little bit higher, go toward that level 25 for critical hits, and eventually I'll get there. It's just a matter of the draw the luck of the skill orbs or equipment or whatever the case is. So for the most part of this showcase, you will see this guy linked up with the LR Vegito Blue, obviously because they pretty much share all the links after the transformation, except for one. I think it might have been Godly Warriors, something like that, but that is shared with other units like the Gogeta Blue counterpart and stuff like that. So you'll see a combination of different setups. Again, I felt like the most appropriate section to test this out would be on the Legendary Goku event, so you will see that in the majority of this, but I do switch over to the Infinite Dragon Ball History event, just kind of give you different scenarios on different types of enemies, stuff like that. But again, that's pretty much the format. I did bring in a couple of supports like the EZA Topo, Supreme Kaya Time, and Turles, just to provide pretty much that extra ramp up toward attack or defense or whatever. Pretty much it is the last resort category / Patara setup, so that's pretty much the team I ended up testing it with. And they honestly flow very well. Now in terms of like the supporting units, some of them obviously do bring in some sort of defensive liability at times, but it's manageable enough to where it's not really a problem. So as part of a review session, let's go ahead and cover the stats a little bit briefly, and I will also cover the level 10 links impact based on each of these. So again, this is the physical type Vegito Blue. Don't really need to cover the leader skill, but super attack greatly raises attack and defense for one turn and causes immense damage to enemy. We'll go into that here in a second. The passive skill is an attack and defense increase of 40%. At the start of the turn, great chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, each of which has a medium chance of becoming a super attack, and then damage received from normal attacks minus 40%, and counters with tremendous power. So it kind of goes hand in hand. You've got the ability to greatly raise attack and defense for one turn based on every super attack. Along with that, this guy has built-in additionals with the medium chance of becoming super. So obviously those things did improve with the Extreme Z Awakening. So the overall stats and whatnot, it definitely did get a lot crazier with that EZA, and he's just that much better off because of it. So moving on to the link skills, let's go ahead and talk about it. So Super Saiyan at level 10 is an attack increase of 15%. Kamehameha, it is attack increase of 10% when SA is launched. Prepare for Battles, key +2, attack and defense increase of 5%. Power Bestowed by God is attack increase of 10% when super attack is launched. Fuse Fighter, key +2, attack and defense increase of 5%. Over in a Flash is key +3, attack increase of 7%, and Fierce Battle is attack increase of 20%. So again, along with the EZA and all these nice, improvements, the level of link skills has further expanded out. I mean, we could just go ahead and start by saying, even something like the Fierce Battle was a 5% increase. Super Saiyan is obviously another 5% increase, and so on. Some of these had, like Kamehameha, for example, only had a flat increase of 2,500 to attack, whereas now that is a percentage base of 10%. So all these little things do add up and make quite a bit of a difference. So, that's really where all this comes into play. Is it's just that much crazier because of how much of an improvement all these guys are getting based on, not just from an EZA or Dokkan Awakened standpoint, but, max level 10 and links are going to make a pretty substantial impact as well. So he was already fantastic as it was. Like he was amongst the best already as it was, but the fact that you saw further improvement makes it even a little bit crazier. So It is very, very nice to be done with the grind. It's well worth it. You know, I kind of thought about doing this first, but I had a couple of units I wanted to get out of the way before moving on to a unit like this. But yeah, very, very solid. Fantastic. I did use a couple of items on this particular run, you know, around this time, you know, with the strength type, Goku, as well as the intelligence type, just to kind of maybe boost up the attack as well as recover HP at the same time. So, you know, the attack stats, you know, sometimes you'll see it upwards of 3.5 million. Now that is with the help and assistance of items. However, even without them, you can easily get up to 3 million plus in attack stats if you're able to get multiple super attacks on one rotation. You'll see that in the Infinite Dragon Ball History stages where I actually didn't use any sort of attack increasing item. So, you know, it's certainly up there. And, you know, you do have to be lucky in terms of being able to get the, you know, multiple super attacks per rotation. I mean, sometimes you'll get, at worst case, only 2. You know, that's including an additional attack without it being a super. So, you know, you can be unlucky at times, but I think the majority of times you will get at least 2 super attacks based on, you know, the changes that occurred with the EZA. I mean, to break it down a little bit further, the multiplier increase with the, you know, greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn, that equates to a what is that, 50% chance, I believe, for attack and defense 1 turn. The what is a great chance of launching up to 2 additional attacks, that is an equivalent of a 70% chance, each of which has a 10% chance of becoming a super attack. And then what is that, the medium chance equates to let's see, I don't know what the medium chance was. I think it was like 25% or something like that. So, you know, either way, like, these are all very, very nice improvements, you know. Like, I guess actually let me read that correctly. The previous pre-EZA was a 10% chance, right, with the chance of becoming a super attack with every additional. That medium chance now is a 25% chance, so you're looking at a 15% improvement just from that alone. So obviously those are very, very you know, good things. Great chance to launch additional attacks necessarily didn't change, but that extra 15% with the ability for it to become a super attack, along with the greatly raised attack and defense for 1 turn based on every super, definitely does make a hell of a difference. And yeah, it's you know, at this point in time, it's been out on, you know, both versions for a while, and everybody pretty much knows how good this unit is. But, you know, it was certainly worthwhile to get through the link skill level grind. It can be a little bit hellish. It's quite of a grind at times, and ultimately it's all down to RNG. So you know, it can range whether you're lucky or not, depending on how much time it'll actually take. But, you know, for units like this, it's certainly worthwhile because of a pretty big difference it'll make in terms of like the overall improvement. So, you know, if any global players are watching right now, planning out in advance which units to go for, obviously you want to go for the ones you like and the ones you typically would run on a frequent basis. But there are units where you do want to prioritize because of how good they are. Physical Vegito Blue is obviously one. Now, I did showcase the Tech Vegito Blue, which is, the guy's crazy, I mean, to say the least. But, you know, certainly a defensive liability, especially with the build-up and whatnot. So he's not necessarily, you know, the best unit by any means at this point. But, you know, units like Strength Cooler definitely recommended. I would say like LR Int Cell would be, Perfect Cell would be a good one. You know, obviously the good tanks like Tech Golden Frieza would be a good one. You know, the ones that will help you out in terms of approaching the difficult battles with better ease would probably be the best way to put it in terms of what I would recommend. Even so, like, you know, let's say for example, like Super Battle Road, you're struggling on a very specific type stage or whatever the case is. Units that can be on that one, I would certainly work on, because it's gonna I wouldn't say significantly, but it'll increase your odds of success in terms of clearing the stage. So, you know, there's multiple ways to go about it, you know, in terms of planning this out. But I would like my take on it when it first came out. I went with the units I wanted to see maxed out, you know, at level 10 just for the hell of it. It wasn't necessarily they were great units or anything, but It's units that I like and I typically would run, and just wanted to see them at their full potential. And that's pretty much it. So, you know, it's all up to you what you want to do. But I think with that being said, Physical Vegito Blue is definitely not a bad choice at all. Highly recommended if you do have the guy, and a couple of dupes in. I think you'll certainly appreciate the difference it'll make. So I don't know what the timing of when it's going to come out to global necessarily, but you know, I guess, you know, that in itself is an advantage. You can go ahead and plan out, you know, what units you want to work on, and you know, kind of schedule it out in advance. So that's the way I would look at it. I don't know, with 350 million download celebration around the corner, I feel like they would definitely implement it before that time. You know, that way we can cleanly enjoy a joint celebration amongst both versions, and we can all be friends, you know, to say the least. I don't want, you know, any you know, conflict or whatever between versions, you know, and I won't get into the details of it, but you know, it's meant to be a good time for both versions of players, and everybody kind of, you know, gets together in harmony and enjoys a good time. That's the way I look at it. So we'll see what happens, but that's my outlook on it. But yeah, I mean, this is pretty much the showcase for the Physical Vegito Blue at 100% potential with the EZA and the max level links. Hopefully you guys did enjoy it. I'm guessing a couple of you guys wanted to see this sooner, but it did take me a little while to go through the grind. So hopefully you guys enjoyed it. As always, thanks for watching, and I will catch you guys later. Okay, peace out.